Hello students, as promised, I'm here with the next part of the last lesson chapter from book Flamingo for the class 12th. And as I shared, I will be covering all the chapters very soon, maybe in a day or so. So please do subscribe and like and notify yourself with the alerts so that if you like the videos, you get to know when we have posted. So the first MCQ on the parts 2 for the last lesson is hamil is introduced as a ruler wielding teacher. This demonstrates that he is a hard taskmaster, he is unfeeling, he is concerned, or he is adamant. So children, I hope you must have guessed by now. So the answer is he is a hard taskmaster. Next question. Why did Hamill blame himself? By not being strict, or by not having taught them enough French, or giving students a holiday at times. So Hamill blamed himself because he was quite easy to give holidays to the students. So he regretted that decision because he thought that must have resulted in loss of the studies of the children. What was Franz banking on to enter the class as he was late? Hamill's teaching on the blackboard, to quietly walk in when everyone was preoccupied with participles, or commotion in the class, or Hauser helping him sneak into the class. So normally students, when Franz used to go to school, there used to be a lot of hustle bustle and shor sharaba and commotion in the class. So he was hoping he would quietly sneak into the class when the commotion is there in the class. So answer is commotion in the class. Next question. Franz thinks, will they make them sing in German? Even the pigeons? What could this mean? Harsh orders will be passed. German would use brutal force over everyone. When people are deprived of their essence, even the surroundings are affected. Or the Germans will rob France of its language. Well, the correct answer for the children is when people are deprived of their essence, even the surroundings are affected, Next question. For the last 2 years, where did all the bad news come from? Town hall, Hamill's house, school, or the bulletin board? So we know the bulletin board was the place where all the news used to come, whether good or bad, both. But mostly it was bad news coming, and it was from the bulletin board. Next question. Franz looked for opportunities to skip school to do what? Collect birds' eggs, go fishing, water the plants, or work on mills? The correct answer for this children is he was fond of collecting birds' eggs. Next question. What does Hamill's motionless posture reflect? Sense of finality, changing order of life, feeling of nostalgia, or the school is dismissed? So the motionless posture actually of Mr. Hamill was reflecting his sense of finality. That means the end or the last moments. Next question. Why does Hamill blame the parents? They were not strict. They did not love the French language. They did not come to Hamill's class, or they preferred children to work in farms. So Hamill blamed parents because, parents were always asking the children, to at least go to mills to work, to get money. So he blamed them for that. So they preferred children to work in the farms. That's why he blamed them. What does the last lesson taught by Hamill symbolize? Domination of Prussia, no more teaching of French, loss of language and loss of freedom, or learning of German? So we very well know, children, that this whole chapter or the lesson, the last lesson, is actually telling us the loss of language and loss of freedom. So it symbolizes the same. Next question. Why was Franz surprised? Because of village elders, because of students' behavior, or because of Mr. Hamill's kind and polite behavior, or because of police patrolling? Actually, it could be because of police patrolling also. But in this chapter, he was surprised because Hamill's kind and polite behavior he had never seen before. Next question. Why does the author urge the reader to respect his language? Because you can express yourself, it is unique and reflects literature and art. It is what makes you respect your countrymen, or it is the key to freedom. So children, we again know the loss of language and loss of freedom is the motto or symbolizing of this lesson. So the correct answer for this is, it is the key to freedom. Next one. Why did the villagers come to meet M. Hamill in the school? To show gratitude, to complain, to gossip, or to say goodbye? So I hope you must have guessed by now. It was to show gratitude. Next question. What was M. Hamill going to question Franz about? Participles, adjectives, old primer, or Barbie, boo boo? So we know Franz was asked to prepare participles. So he was about to ask participles. Some question may be similar from the part 1, but they are important ones, so I have repeated them. What was unusual about M. Hamill's dress? Wore clothes he wore on prize days, wore traditional French clothes, wore a brand new outfit, or wore clean clothes. So unusual thing about M. Hamill's dress on that particular day was he wore clothes which actually he used to wear on prize days, on ceremony or in school function, something like that. Who occupied the back benches in the class? We have done it in the part 1 as well. It was the village elders. Options are monitors of the class, village elders, teachers, or weak students. So answer is village elders. Next question. What was Franz expected to be prepared for at school that day? Dance, essay writing, song, or participles? So this question has come multiple times. So you must have remembered by now. It is participles. Next question. Who sat on the back bench on the last lesson? The new teacher, Franz, the village people, or Prussians? Again, this is going to confuse you. Always remember, back benches will be always the village people or the village elders. Next question. What does the marching of soldiers under the windows represent? The departure of Hamel, freedom for France, sorrow for the villagers, or dawn of Prussia and of France? So we know it is the dawn of Prussia and France because soldiers took over the country. What did Franz find on reaching the school? School was closed, strange quietness, people were dancing, or police patrolling. So we know when Franz reached the school, there were quite calm and strange quietness in the school. That is what he found. So strange quietness. It's repeated, I think, in the first one also. Who asked Franz not to hurry to school? Blacksmith watcher, former mayor, former postmaster, old Hauser. Have you guessed it? If yes, the answer is blacksmith watcher. Next one. Why did Mr. Hamel call the French language the most beautiful? Because people were from France, because it was native language, because it was clearest and logical, or none of these. So actually, in fact, it could be any of these 3 reasons, but as per the chapter, Mr. Hamel called the French language the most beautiful because he found it was the clearest and logical language. So that's the option we need to choose. Alphonse Daudet was from which country? It's an important MCQ, children, so you'll have to remember the answer. Options are India, France, New Zealand, or England. So answer is New Zealand. Next one. The story The Last Lesson highlights which human tendency? Cowardice, male chauvinism, procrastination, or courage? Answer is procrastination. We'll have to remember this. It's a important MCQ. From where did the orders came to teach only German in districts of Alsace and Lorraine? Lorraine, Berlin, Germany, or France? So we know it did come from Germany, but it used these too specific. It was from Berlin. Next question. Don't go so fast, you will get to your school in plenty of time means early enough, not early, getting late, or very early. So it is the blacksmith watcher, he said that. This actually means early enough. I think it was in the part 1 as well. What is the moral that Alphonse Daudet wants to bring out? Teachers should be respected. That actually should be. One should accept everything that happens, not to put off things that one can do that day, or old order change to new. So children, when you moral of this story or the lesson is actually, you should not put off things that one can do that day. Suppose, you want to study something today and you're feeling lazy and you go to bed and you sleep. Then you get up late and you don't find time to do that study. So you will miss that moment. So you should not put off things that you can do in the same day or that day. Next question. What order had come from Berlin? That there should be a new teacher to open a school in Alsace and Lorraine, that Hamel would have to leave or teach German in schools of Alsace and Lorraine. So correct answer, as we all know, to teach German in schools of Alsace and Lorraine. Next question. Mr. Hamel emerges as, when he teaches his last lesson, a meek person, a repentant man, a defeated man, or a true patriot. So we know Mr. Hamel emerged as a true patriot when he teaches the last lesson, when he talks about patriotism a lot. Okay, and what were the things being taken for granted by the people of Alsace? People around, teachers of the school, time and school, or money and power. So people of Alsace used to take, time and school. They didn't bother to do things on the day they could be done, and they were not bothered about sending students to school, their children to school, go to farm and mills and work and get money. So it was time and school they took for granted. And here, children, we are on the last MCQ for the day today. Not for the day, for this chapter. And I will be uploading the next chapter very soon. And please do subscribe, like, and share if you are enjoying it. So the last MCQ is, which district came under the Prussian rule? Alsace and Berlin and Lorraine, the southern district of France, or Alsace and Lorraine? So we know it's Alsace and Lorraine. All right, children, have a blessed day. Thank you.